Hi, welcome back to the second installment of the Toolmakers Vice project, and in this video we're going to produce the engineering drawing for the Toolmakers Vice we modelled previously. So before we start with the engineering drawing, we need to do a little bit of admin. These parts, these 5 parts we created, need to be labelled and given names. So I'm going to just pick on part 1, right click, properties. Okay, the description for this part is vice body, and we can Control C, give it a name as well, Control V. Okay, the vice body, and give it a part number. I've numbered all of these parts, Toolmakers Vice TV, and this is 001. Apply. Close. Just to save time, off screen I've renamed all of these parts vice body, vice end cap, vice jaw, vice screw and knurled nut, and given them their part numbers as well as in the drawing that you've got in front of you. So one other admin task that we need to do before we continue with the drawing is to create an assembly. Okay, these parts exist in the part studio. We need to create an assembly just to bring these parts in. So we can join parts together. We can do lots of really clever stuff in assemblies, but just for the purpose of this exercise, we're just going to bring them in so they exist in the assembly. I'm going to press Insert, and I'm going to bring the whole part studio in as one part and accept that. Okay, the only reason for doing this for this part is that we can put together a bill of materials in the drawing, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so for the engineering drawing itself, we need to insert a new element, create drawing, and we're going to use a custom template as usual, ISO English. This is going to be an A3 drawing in millimeters using the comma for a decimal separator, third angle, really important, and the border is going to have 6 horizontal zones and 4 vertical zones, including a title block, no views. Just let that load for a minute. There we are, that's our A3 drawing, and we're going to insert an assembly. So rather than part studio, we're going to insert assemblies here. I'm going to insert assembly 1, and that looks a little bit small on my drawing. The view scale is 1:2, so this is showing it half scale. I'm going to change that view scale to 1:1, full scale, and I'm going to drop the view on here. I'm going to drag up and draw a plan view from above. I'm going to click on our initial view and come to the side, come to the right hand side, an end view, and I'm going to do the same again. Click on my initial view, come up to the top right and drop in an isometric view. The isometric view is too big, as we can see there, so I'm just going to press escape, right click on this drawing and go to view properties, and I'm going to change the scale on this back to 1:2 half scale and accept that. I can drag that and place it in the corner there. Okay, that's really good. So this is just a general arrangement. This shows how all the parts go together. And it's got all 5 parts. Now the little bit of admin we did at the start to name all of these parts comes into play now. We create a BOM, bill of materials, at the top here. I'm going to place this bill of materials in the top left corner. you can use the select fixed corner tool here, and then it will just snap to the corner. And that gives us a bill of materials, a parts list if you like, of all the parts, and then call outs, and we can put a call out for each of these parts. Excellent. So we've got all of these parts numbered exactly as we need them. Don't forget to add the details into the title block here. Title, Toolmakers Vice, drawing number, material will be bright mild steel, finish will be no finish, and we don't really need tolerances, but we can add in here general tolerance plus or minus 0.25 if you like. And that's all of the drawing block done. You've done that before, I'm not going to waste your time doing that. Okay, the next step is to add another sheet, a separate sheet. This is the general arrangement, shows how it all goes together. So we're going to pick sheets on the left hand side here, and we're going to add a new sheet. So this automatically opens up a new A3 sheet, and if we're quite crafty we can fit all of these parts onto an A3 sheet, or if you want to add a few of the sheets on and then add a few of the parts on them, sorry, and then add another sheet to put all of them on. Okay, so we're going to add parts here, insert view. I'm going to click insert. Now we're going to leave these as 1 to 2 half scale, they're smaller. I'm going to add the vice body. Actually full scale again, yeah, I'll drop that in the corner there. I'm going to add a projected view above and a view from the side, like that. Now we can add the details onto this, the dimensions and so on. I'm going to add a center mark to here, and then I'll start dimensioning the part. 120, 50, all of these dimensions now are baked into the model. If we notice anything that we need to change, we can do so at any time, going back to the part studio. The dimensions for the holes, it's always nice to get them all to line up, so you can pick up the dotted lines like so. You'll notice here that we can see all of the external details, but the hidden details are not shown. So I'll just show you how to do that. Right click and show hide hidden lines. And we can see then that the hidden lines are added in as dashed lines that go through. So they're worth adding. So the engineer making this part will be able to see what's going on, like that. Fabulous. One more dimension to add. Use the dimension tool, dimension of that line there, get them all to line up. We need to add thread details to these holes. Because we've modeled all the thread details in, it's baked into the model, so I can now pick the hole thread call out tool and drag out. Now this is really clever. It tells us that it's an M8 by 1.25 thread, 20 deep, but it also tells us that we need to drill a hole 6.8 diameter and drill that 25 deep. Okay, so that's all the details we need to produce these holes in the workshop. Saves us going to our engineer's black book to find all of the thread details. It's all on the drawing there for the engineer. Just add a dimension onto this, and that's a R1.5 3mm hole going through there for that clearance. So now I'll continue with dimensioning all the other parts. That's the basics. You don't really need to be too concerned about what I'm doing next. I'll do that in fast forward mode so you can see what I'm doing, but I'm sure you have all the skills you need to put all the rest of the details on the page. Okay, now that we've got all of our views and all of our dimensions added on there are just a few things to finish off this drawing. We need to label all of the parts with their part numbers so that they match up with the part numbers shown here in the bill of materials. So we'll do that first. Go back to sheet 2. Right, I'm just going to move these up a little bit. Again, the beauty of using CAD is we can change things, and notice that the views line up perfectly as well. So I'm going to go to this initial view that I put on, right click and view properties, and I'm going to add a view label. Click on this little box here, and I'm going to put the part title in there, vice body, and I'm going to also add in the number TV001, and we'll accept that. And notice that it overlaps that dimension, so I'm just going to drag it down a little bit to there. Okay, and I'll do the same for all the parts so we know exactly where they are. It's getting a little bit cluttered here, so I'm going to move this view over a little bit and maybe up just a bit there, so there's a bit of separation between these parts there. So I'll right click, view properties, I'll do the same again, view label, this is the vice jaw TV002, accept, and so on. I'll just carry on in high speed. And that's all we've got left to do now, is to add some notes on the drawing, just to mention about materials and tolerances and so on. So I'm just going to use the note tool at the top here, click on note, and then type in the details. and I'll just add the title back in, the drawing number in here, TVA 001, and it states in the corner, if I just accept that, states in the corner that it's an A3 drawing, sheet 2 of 2. Because we created sheet 1 earlier, this is sheet 2. And there we have it, all the details we need, or should have all the details we need to produce this part in the workshop. Well done. If you've got this far, well done. Print out your drawing and add that to your portfolio, again as evidence of your CAD work. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr.